Alright, this video is on multiplying and dividing integers. I know most people seem to be more scared of this concept, but it's actually way easier than adding and subtracting in my opinion. There's only one rule you have to follow, it works for both of them, and it's pretty simple. Alright, so the only rule you have to know is that if there's one negative, it makes it all negative. Anytime we have two negatives, they're going to cancel out. Other than that, our multiplication and our division is exactly the same. Alright, so if you don't know what I mean, let's go through this problem. So we have negative 12 times 2. Well, I'm still going to do my multiplication in the same way I've always done it. 12 times 2. So 12 times 2 is 24. And the rule just tells me, is my answer positive or negative? If I have one negative, it's negative. If I had two, they'd cancel out. So the rule is any two negatives cancel out. If you're left with one negative, the answer is negative. If you have two, they cancel out, the answer is positive. Otherwise, both the multiplication and the division are the same as you've always done all along. So it's pretty easy. All you have to do is remember this rule. And the rule is nice because it's pretty easy to check yourself even after the fact. Just look through it. One negative, answer should be negative. If there are two, it should be positive. Alright, so on this one, how many negatives are there? There's one, so my answer is going to be negative. And then I need to just go ahead and do 44 divided by 4. 44 divided by 4 is 11. Pretty simple. Alright, in this case, so this is negative 9 divided by negative 27. Remember, fractions mean division. This fraction bar means division. Some people like to go ahead and write this out like this. I don't really see the point because especially in this case it's going to stay as a fraction. Our numerator is smaller than our denominator. So I would leave it as a fraction. I think fractions are a lot easier to work with than writing out as a long division. So if we have two negatives, that means these two negatives are going to cancel out. So I'm going to have a positive answer. And like I said, I can't divide 9 by 27, but I can simplify this down. So 9 and 27 are both divisible by 3. I can do that. Hey, look, they're both divisible by 3 again. Get 1/3. Okay? So you can simplify it that way. Maybe you notice right away that they're both divisible by 9 and you jump right to a 1/3. I don't care how you get to the correct answer as long as you're getting to the correct answer of positive 1/3. Okay? If you want to do long division out, you could have done 9 divided by 27. You would have added your decimal. 27, it goes into 90 3 times. Hey, look, we get 9 again. If we add another 0, we're still getting 90. So that means that this 3 is repeating. We're going to keep getting 3s, which you might know that 1/3 is the same thing as 0.3 repeating. You don't have to do out to get the decimal. I'm fine with you leaving it as that fraction, but if you like doing the decimal, you're more than welcome to do the decimal. The point we're trying to get across here is that these two negatives are going to cancel out. If one of them had been negative, my whole fraction would be negative, or my decimal would be negative, but since they're both negative, they're canceling out. Alright, go ahead and try this one on your own. Pause it, and then hit play when you're ready to see the answer. Alright, so hopefully the first thing you noticed was there's two negatives, so they're going to cancel out. So really, I'm just doing 3 times 20, which is 60. Pretty simple. All right, let's try another one. All right, go ahead and pause this and figure it out on your own. All right, on this one, again, we have 100 divided by negative 20. There's one negative, so my answer is going to be negative. And in this case, 20 goes into 100, so I can go ahead and divide that, and I get 5. 100 divided by 20. Some people, again, like to write it out like this. You can if you want. I just don't really see the point. You can go ahead and do it the other way. So the answer is negative 5. All right, go ahead and pause this and figure it out. All right, so hopefully you saw the one negative, so you know your answer could be negative, and then you just have to do 56 divided by 8, and you get 7. All right, so again, let's go over the rules. any two negatives cancel out. And this is true only for addition, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, only for multiplication and division. What I'm trying to say is it does not work for addition and subtraction. Remember our addition and subtraction problems, if they're both negative, the two armies are both negative, it's an even bigger negative. Well, in this case, two negatives cancel out to a positive. So I would put a big warning in your notes so you don't make the mistake. Warning, this is only for multiplication and division. Multiplication and division. Okay? Don't get it mixed up. That is across the board the most common mistake people will make, is they just get different concepts mixed up. You understand the rules, you just apply them to the wrong thing. So if I were to have a big problem with a whole bunch of negatives, as long as it's all either multiplication or division, I could go through, and for every two negatives, so negative, 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 and this one is the lone one. So my answer is going to be negative, no matter what this is. I feel like doing that out, but I know the answer is going to be negative. So any two negatives cancel out. If you're left with one negative remaining, the answer is negative. If all of them have a buddy and they cancel out, then you have a positive answer. Again, don't get this confused with addition and subtraction. It does not work for them. All right, here's our word problem for today. Way to work it out like always and come to class with an answer. So in a class of 22 students, 8 receive an 84, 10 receive a 92, and 2 receive a 96 on the last test. If the class average was 90, what are the possible scores for the other 2 students? So I want you to do as much as you can with this. Work through. There's many different ways you could do this. If you can't get the answer or answers, I want you to at least do as much as you can and show what your thought process was, and then explain where you got stuck and why you're at a roadblock. Okay?